I'm Angela Stribling for Capital Jazz TV, and I am sitting here next to Jeff Lorber, my friend for many years. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me on your show.
Welcome back to Capital Jazz Festival.
All right, my pleasure. So this is one of the great jazz festivals in the country and maybe even in the world. And yeah, the venue couldn't be better. It's just a wonderful place to play. I love coming here.
What keeps you coming back?
Well, you know, we just love to play music for one thing, and they invite us. But you know, it's just fun. It's a very enthusiastic audience, and it's a great venue. It's got great sound and great equipment, and you know you're going to sound good, and it's going to be fun. So
when did you first fall in love with, I guess, the technology and learn how much you can do?
Well, I mean, I grew up in a musical family, so I've always loved music. My mom played piano, and I had a couple of older sisters that were studying, so it just always seemed natural to get into music, and I actually was a chemistry major for a couple years in college before I went full-time into music. And so I think that kind of technical background made it easier for me to understand about synthesizers, because, you know, over the years, synthesizers have really changed in recording, too. So most musicians nowadays have to be pretty technically adept to get by anymore. Yeah. So, and some of them nowadays are even good with, you know, the whole internet and social media thing. That's not exactly my area of expertise, but yeah, I've always enjoyed technology, and I started my band when I was living in Portland, Oregon, and they had a really nice scene there with a lot of places to play. There wasn't a lot of jazz there, but there were a lot of venues, and so I originally called my band the Jeff Lorber Fusion just to let people know that it was going to be something a little different than what they usually had there in those venues.
That's nice. Between you and Stevie Wonder with the synthesizers.
Yeah, well, he was. You know what? I've actually been to Stevie Wonder's studio, and he has all of the synthesizers that pretty much were ever made, and a lot of one-of-a-kind instruments, and yeah, it's pretty much a little you know, wonderland of keyboards over there. It's amazing.
Oh, I love that, the wonderland of keyboards. Yeah. Okay, now you've got actually 2 CDs. There's one that's getting ready to come out, and one that came out, what, 9 months ago. Yeah. Tell me about the music.
Well, the Hacienda CD was a Jeff Lorber Fusion album that featured Jimmy Haslip on bass, who I'm playing here with, and also Eric Marienthal, who's here, and Paul Jackson Jr., who's featured. That's sort of a special treat, because normally I tour with a quartet, but for this special gig today we have Paul Jackson, who, you know, usually he's in front of the TV screen. He was on The Tonight Show for years, and American Idol. But yeah, that came out about 9 months ago, and it was nominated for Grammy, so that was really nice that happened. Thank you. And I was beaten by Herb Alpert, which was another record that I sort of worked on, so at least I had some association with the winning record. And then there's a new record coming out. I've been doing some touring with Chuck Loeb and Everett Harp, and that group's called Jazz, Funk, and Soul. And that record's coming out on Shawnee. It comes out at the end of the month on June 24th. So you can pre-order it on iTunes right now.
I love it.
All right.
So welcome back to the Capital Jazz Festival.
Thanks for having me.
Can't wait to hear you do your thing.
All right, me too.
Jeff Lorber and Angela Stribling for Capital Jazz TV.